Zimbabwe's retail sector is in crisis. Major retailers warn about the economy under President Emmerson Mnangagwa's leadership. They argue his policies are unsustainable and could lead to collapse. The business community is concerned about government control over the exchange rate and inflation. They call for urgent reforms to prevent a meltdown. Retailers face soaring inflation, a devaluing currency, and dwindling consumer spending. Government's tight grip on the exchange rate exacerbates the situation. This toxic mix threatens livelihoods and the retail ecosystem. The consequences of inaction are dire. The business community urges the government to engage in meaningful dialogue. Without intervention, Zimbabwe's retail sector and economy remain precarious. The recent closure of PowerSale's Masvingo branch is a stark illustration of the challenges confronting Zimbabwean businesses. This once thriving retailer, known for its diverse product range and affordable prices, has succumbed to the pressure of the country's economic turmoil. The shutdown serves as a potent symbol of the wider crisis engulfing the retail sector. PowerSale's closure can be directly attributed to the government's economic policies. The company, like many others, has been struggling to cope with hyperinflation, currency volatility, and dwindling consumer purchasing power. These factors have created an environment where businesses are unable to operate profitably, ultimately leading to closures and job losses. The closure of PowerSale's Masvingo branch is not an isolated incident. It is a worrying sign of the times, reflecting the broader struggles faced by businesses across Zimbabwe. The government's failure to address the root causes of the economic crisis is creating a domino effect, with businesses of all sizes falling victim to the unsustainable environment. The closure of this branch has had a devastating impact on the local community. Employees have lost their jobs and consumers have lost access to essential goods and services. This situation highlights the urgent need for the government to implement meaningful economic reforms that address the root causes of the crisis and provide much-needed relief for struggling businesses and citizens alike. At the heart of Zimbabwe's economic woes lies the issue of its beleaguered currency, the Zimbabwean dollar, ZiG. The ZiG has been on a downward spiral, experiencing rapid devaluation that has severely eroded its purchasing power. This devaluation has had a crippling effect on businesses, particularly those reliant on imports. The devaluation has fueled inflation, making it difficult for ordinary Zimbabweans to afford basic necessities. As the local currency loses value, prices of goods and services have skyrocketed. This has led to a sharp decline in consumer spending, exacerbating challenges for businesses. For businesses, the devalued ZiG has made it difficult to import essential goods. The cost of importing raw materials, machinery, and finished products has surged. Businesses must absorb these costs or pass them on to consumers, dampening demand. The devaluation of the ZiG has created a vicious cycle of economic instability. As the currency weakens, inflation rises, purchasing power diminishes, and businesses struggle to survive. This underscores the urgent need for comprehensive economic reforms to restore confidence in the Zimbabwean economy. One of the most damaging policies pursued by the Zimbabwean government has been its reliance on printing money to finance public procurement and other expenditures. This practice, often referred to as quantitative easing, has disastrous consequences for the economy, leading to hyperinflation and further devaluing the already struggling ZiG. When the government prints more money, it effectively increases the money supply without a corresponding increase in the production of goods and services. This excess money in circulation leads to a situation where too much money chases too few goods, driving up prices and fueling inflation. The result is a vicious cycle of price increases and currency devaluation, eroding the purchasing power of ordinary citizens and crippling businesses. Moreover, the practice of printing money for public procurement is often linked to corruption and mismanagement of public funds. Without transparent and accountable systems in place, the influx of printed money creates opportunities for embezzlement, patronage, and other forms of corruption, further undermining the economy and eroding public trust. The consequences of this unsustainable fiscal policy are far-reaching. Hyperinflation destroys savings, discourages investment, and creates widespread economic instability. It disproportionately affects the most vulnerable segments of society, pushing them further into poverty and exacerbating inequality. Breaking this cycle of economic mismanagement requires a fundamental shift in government policy, embracing fiscal discipline, transparency, and accountability.